Papmochani Ekadashi. The glories of Papmochani Ekadashi are described in the Bhavishyotar Puran in the conversation between Lord Krishna and Maharaj Yudhishthir. Once Maharaj Yudhishthir asked Lord Krishna, "My dear Lord, you've already explained the glories of Amalaki Ekadashi. Now please describe the Ekadashi which occurs during the waning moon in the month of March or April. What is the name of this Ekadashi? Also, describe to me the procedure for observing the Ekadashi and its results." Lord Krishna replied, "King, the name of this Ekadashi is Papmochani. Now please hear its glories as I describe them to you. Long, long ago, the glories of this Ekadashi were spoken by sage Lomash to King Mandat. This Papmochani Ekadashi occurs during the waning moon in the month of March or April. This Ekadashi takes away all of one's sinful reactions, destroys one's ghostly condition of life, and awards 8 kinds of mystic perfections. Sage Lomash said, "In the ancient time, Kuver, the treasurer of the demigods, had a beautiful forest of flowers called Chaitra Rath, where the weather was pleasant as a result of the eternal spring. The heavenly dancing girls, such as Gandharvas, Apsaras, and Kinnaras, enjoyed various sports here. Demigods headed by Indra used to come there and enjoy various exchanges. In that forest, a great sage named Medhavi, who was a staunch devotee of Lord Shiva, was engaged in performing austerity. The Apsaras, the heavenly dancing girls, tried to disturb the sage in various ways. Among the Apsaras, one famous Apsara named Manju Ghosh devised a means to captivate the mind of the sage. Due to fear of the sage, Manju Ghosh built a cottage a little away from the ashram of the sage and began to sing in a sweet voice, accompanied by the musical instrument Veena. On seeing Manju Ghosh, who applied sandalwood pulp on her body, wore a fragrant flower garland, and was engaged in singing sweetly, even the Cupid, who was the enemy of Lord Shiva, tried to conquer the sage, who was the devotee of Lord Shiva. One time Lord Shiva burned the Cupid to ashes. Thus, remembering his previous enmity, Cupid entered the body of the sage in order to take revenge. At that time, Sage Medhavi, who wore a white sacred thread on his body and who lived in the ashram of Javan Rishi, appeared as the second Cupid. The lusty Manju Ghosh slowly came before the sage. The sage Medhavi also became overwhelmed by lust and forgot his worshipable Lord. He gave up the practice of devotional service and became so intoxicated in relishing the association of this woman that he even lost the sense of discriminating between day and night. In this way, Sage Medhavi spent many years enjoying her company. Thereafter, when Manju Ghosh saw that the sage had fallen down from his position, she decided to return to the heavenly planet. She said to Sage Medhavi, who was engaged in conjugal affair, "Great sage, now please give me the permission to return home." Then Sage Medhavi replied, "Beautiful woman, you've come to me only in the evening. Stay here tonight, and you can return in the morning." On hearing these words of the sage, Manju Ghosh became frightened and continued to live with him for a few more years. In this way, although Manju Ghosh lived with the sage for 57 years, 9 months, and 3 days, still it appeared to be only half of a night to the sage. Manju Ghosh again asked for the permission from the sage to return home, but the sage said, "Beautiful lady, please hear my words. This is only morning. Please wait till I finish my morning rituals." Then the Apsara smiled and said to the sage with amazement, "Great sage, how long will it take for you to complete your morning rituals? Haven't you finished yet? You've spent many years enjoying my association. Therefore, please consider the actual value of time." On hearing the words of the Apsara, the sage came to his senses, and after carefully calculating the time, he said, "Alas! Beautiful one, I've simply wasted 57 years of my valuable time. You have ruined everything and spoiled all of my austerities." The eyes of the sage filled with tears and his entire body began to tremble. Sage Medhavi cursed Manju Ghosh in the following words: "You've behaved with me like a witch. Therefore, you will immediately become a witch. O sinful, unchaste lady, shame on you." After being cursed by the sage in this way, Manju Ghosh humbly said to the sage, "Brahman, please withdraw your heavy curse. I've spent many years in your company. My lord, for this reason I am a fit candidate for your forgiveness. Please be merciful to me." The sage replied, "Lady, what will I do now? You've destroyed my entire wealth of austerity. Still, I'm telling you the procedure for getting free from this curse. The Ekadashi, which occurs during the waning moon in the month of March or April, which is called Papmochani, is capable of destroying all of one's sinful reactions. If you follow this Ekadashi strictly and faithfully, then your ghostly condition of life will be vanquished." After speaking these words, Sage Medhavi returned to the ashram of his father, Sage Javan. As soon as Sage Javan saw his fallen son, he became extremely unhappy and said, "My son, what have you done? You've ruined yourself. You should not have spoiled your entire treasury of austerity simply by being captivated." Sage Medhavi replied, "Respectful father, due to misfortune have committed great sins in the association of an Apsara. Therefore, please instruct me regarding the atonement of my sinful reactions." On hearing the pathetic words of his repentant son, Sage Javan said, "Son, by observing Papmochani Ekadashi, all of one's sinful reactions are completely destroyed. Therefore, you should observe this Ekadashi." On hearing these kind words of his father, Sage Medhavi exhibited special enthusiasm in observing the Ekadashi. By the influence of this Ekadashi, all of his sinful reactions were destroyed and he became pious again. Meanwhile, Manju Ghosh, who also observed this auspicious Ekadashi, became liberated from her ghostly condition of life. She then regained her divine form and returned to heaven. After narrating the story to King Mandat, Sage Lomash concluded as follows: "My dear king, just by observing this Papmochani Ekadashi, all of one's sinful reactions are automatically destroyed. By hearing or reading the glories of this Ekadashi, one achieves the result of donating 1,000 cows. Sinful reactions from killing a Brahman, killing an embryo, drinking wine, and associating with a guru's wife are totally uprooted. The purport is that, since the sacred Ekadashi is all auspicious and destroyer of all of one's sins, everyone should strictly observe this Ekadashi."